What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down some big developments in the charts, which you should be watching for as time progresses for Tesla. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moon link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15. Not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. Anyways, for Tesla, we got this very, very nice pump so far, trying to hold up this 220 resistance. Tesla managed to push above 222 as well. Now we're still kind of consolidating between 222 and 225. So Tesla did a good job at pushing thus far. But we'll be watching to see if we could hold these levels, if they're sustainable or not. So the question is, what's happening? The first piece of news that helped Tesla push is this news right here about how there are proposed EU tariffs to be lowered for companies like Tesla for Chinese-made EVs. That's a good piece of news. I went over this in more detail in the morning. This is just a proposition. It hasn't been officially announced just yet, but basically, according to the European Commission, they may be decreasing tariffs for Tesla. Possibly. We'll just have to wait and see on this, but this is a good piece of news. There's also some news coming out right over here about companies like lots of these smart breaker manufacturers, such as Eton, they are coming out together, forming partnerships with Tesla, and they're once again announcing that they are planning a collaboration with Tesla to boost the functionality and adoption of home energy storage and installations in North America. In early 2025, their Powerwall would support Tesla's new developments, and then Eton's new Able Edge smart breakers would be used with them as well for faster installers, and homeowners can improve their load management and stuff. So I think it's very, very cool. This helps to optimize energy usage, and then this also decreases the time it takes to once again install them and such. So this integration is very, very useful for Tesla. It's going to improve their Powerwall functions. And it's going to make things a lot more efficient for them in terms of energy. So I think that's a good piece of news for Tesla. A very, very nice partnership. I also saw some news over here that came out that the Model 3 may be looking for longer wait times in China because their domestic sales are once again increasing in China. So that's a good piece of news, at least for us, in a way where there's still high demand. Believe it or not, I say that because when you look at the numbers compared to last year, I went over these numbers yesterday. They were still very close to what we saw from last year in terms of their sales for August, and also the year-to-date sales in China. So it's not bad. It's a nice improvement, and I can't wait to see what else the future holds for us. So, as far as Tesla goes right now, we had a lot of good news coming out from new partnerships, not to mention new potential tariffs to be decreased in the European Union. So, I think that that was good news for Tesla, and that's part of why we're pushing right now. We're up about 3%. I also made a video about how we had some bullish momentum building in the pre market. I was anticipating we try to break past 220. That's what happened so far. So with that being said, we look more bullish. Tesla could try to push higher for this 225 area later on if we manage to hold above 222. For now, we're kind of stuck within the range between 222 and 225, but we did make a nice move to 225 in the morning, and we're still once again looking pretty good. As long as we don't lose 220, we favor the upside. If we lose 220, we go back to the range from yesterday. Maybe looking at 217 and 215, but we're favoring a push for 225 plus, and we're doing a good job. So overall, Tesla's holding it very well. Spy is also doing a so-so job. So this has been pushing a little bit, trying to hold this trend line. We saw Spy push all the way up to about the 548 area, but I said to everyone to watch and see, do we hold 548 or not? That's what I said in my morning video. If we held this, we'd be looking for 550. If not, we could be tipping back down to the trend line. And then lo and behold, we did tip back down to the 525s and get bought back up. So I think that we're kind of consolidating right now. But at the very end of the day, there might be a bigger move, and we'll see if they try to pump things or not. When you look at the 30 minutes time frame, SPY is just holding this trend line so far. So we'll see if we continue to slowly uptrend our way up. It's just holding a trend line, so we'll give this some time. And then I think that we're doing a good job at holding up. So give it the time it needs. As far as ES goes, we're looking at 54.80 as support. If that fails us, we're looking for 54.65, followed by 54.50. And we have resistance around 5,500. So I think that we're just range bound on ES. It's a bit of an uptrend that's being established, so it could try to, hold this and try to push higher. But overall, we'll give this the time it needs. I think that we're just range bound on ES for now, and it needs a little bit more time to develop. But so far, it's still favoring an upwards direction. When you look at Nvidia, okay, over the last couple of days, Nvidia was at a lower level. We used to be at 99, 104 and beyond. Now we saw a nice push up to just under 110. We came back down, but we're holding up very, very well. I think there's a good chance we're trying to push for that 108 area. That's going to be our 20 EMA. If we lose this trend line, we could be dipping back down to 105. If we break past 108, we're looking for a push. I think we're just going to consolidate for now, but overall, Nvidia is on a bit of an uptrend, so it's doing a good job at holding up. For NQ, we're just shuffling as well. We're looking at support at 18,750. If that fails us, we're looking for a little bit of a dip towards the lower levels like 18,700. If that fails us, we're looking for 18,650. If we break out higher, we're looking for 18,800 as resistance. If that breaks, we're going all the way up to about 19,000. So we're just range bound right now, going back and forth and back and forth. So give this the time it needs. The overall NQ does have potential for upside if you break 18,800. For the QQQ, we are trying to push a little bit higher. We hit this resistance around 457. If that breaks, we're basically looking for 458 and then 460. Our support's currently at 455. If that fails us, we're looking for 453. As of right now, we're just range bound on the QQQ. We start off with a nice push, only to reject back down. So we haven't been able to crack 458. We're just range bound on the QQQ. I think we may just continue to consolidate as time goes on. Apple's completely range bound. We have 219 as resistance, 217 as support. If 217 fails us, we could be tipping back down to 215. And if 221 breaks, we turn back up. Otherwise, we're just trading sideways. That's all that Apple has been doing. For the IWM, we're on a bit of a downtrend right over here. We have this 208 area as resistance, and we have this 206 area as our main support. We're just stuck within this range for the time being, so we will see if we break out or not. But I just want to say that with this range that's been established, it is possible we dip a little bit more on the IWM because of the fact that we're not holding 208. So I think we could get closer to the 206s. It's not looking as great right now, so we have to give this some time. But it looks a little bit more bearish. Coinbase is just range bound. I said to watch 156. If that broke, we'd be looking for a push for 160. If we didn't break 156, we'd be looking for a dip back down. Lo and behold, we did dip back down to 154. We were range bound during the pre-market, but now we're dipping a little bit. I could see this dip a little bit towards 152, but then I think it's just going to be range bound after that. Still waiting for CPI data. For Amazon, I said there's going to be a pump coming, but watch this resistance and see if we hold 178. So we pumped up to 180, then we came back down. That just goes to show that we're still range bound on Amazon. If you look at the last couple of weeks, it's been going back and forth between this 180 range and then 170. So if we don't reclaim 178, we could be tipping back down to 175 and just continue to trade sideways. That's all I'm seeing from Amazon for now. For Meta, we pushed up to about 513, then we came back down. We're going to be looking at the support now. Since we haven't held above 506, if we hold above 506, we turn bullish. If not, we're at risk of coming back down to this gap fill for 500. So it could dip a little bit. For Microsoft, we're holding it very well, unlike Meta. If we hold above 410, we're looking for a potential target of 416, followed by 420. If we end up dipping, we're looking for 410 as support and then 407. So in my opinion, I think this has a lot of relative strength. It may consolidate a bit and start to slowly push its way up to about 416, so it looks bullish. Google's also doing a decent job. We're barely just shuffling around 150. If we hold above it, we have potential. If not, we could be dipping back down to 148. So we'll be watching this 150 area to see if we hold or not. So give this the time it needs. With that being said, guys, I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Tesla has a lot of potential. It's showing a lot of strength compared to the markets. We're now fighting 222 as our resistance. If this does not hold, we could be looking for a dip back down to 220. But like I said before, even if we do get a small dip, I still think that Tesla has a decent setup so far, and it still has potential to try to rebound later on, even if we do start to dip a little bit. So far, so good from Tesla. We're watching this 222 area now. I still like the setup overall. It's looking pretty good on the 4-hour time frame. Make sure you watch these levels as the market's kind of like range bound right now. There might be a bigger move towards the end of the day, so give the market the time it needs. Until then, watch your levels. Just know the market for the most part is just kind of range bound, and be very, very patient. We will be looking for a massive move tomorrow, so we're getting ready for that. And until then, I thank you for listening. So have a great day, guys, and peace out.